When it was a series last year, going from 5th to 1st at Redgate round the outside. Ben Powley is much quicker. He gets second, then the car that gets packed round. There's 3 or 4 cars at least that are off there at Redgate, and they all get back going. Possibly the ultimate way you know. Danny Andrews, he's off the, and it's David Mason, David Swint. They all make it going actually, but 3 of the championship contenders and drivers as well as Silverstone out of the race, but right at the back of them.
Yep, they are, and there is a couple more that ended up trekking through the gravel track that would have lost ground, so they'll have quite a shaken up order, I think, by the time they get back round to us. They're making their way up towards McLean's Corner for the first time in this race. Get them binoculars on them, and I can see it is the orange car, which is actually Ben Powley out there in the lead of the race at the moment, and he's being chased, I think, by Liciter in second place. A bit of a gap back then to the third place car, which is that of the pole position driver Daniel Sibbons, as they make their way up towards Coppice for the first time. Powley goes in quite deep, runs out wide over the curb at the first apex. That is going to allow for Jonathan Liciter to get up the inside of him. We know Jonathan Liciter goes well in the wet conditions, so he might relish these greasy track conditions that he's got at the moment. He's that's a couple 100 karts where he's done lots of karting on slicks in the wet, and it sure enough takes the lead as they head down towards the chicane to complete lap number 1.
He does, but Ben Powley cuts back to the left-hand side of the circuit as they exit the corner, so I think the 2 leaders will be side by side at the end of 1 lap. It's Liciter who just leads. I mean, he started down in 5th, but made that good start. He's side by side with Ben Powley, then it's Simon Court and Daniel Sibbons, who are the next 2 side by side, and as Ian said, a big gap to the rest, but Ben Powley leads then. He gets back in front into Redgate Corner, ahead of Jonathan Liciter. These 2 are 1.5 seconds ahead of Court and Sibbons. The man to the race, they go. And Daniel Court, and again there's another gap to the rest, but most of these gaps are enough due because of that Redgate in the first lap.
Danny Andrews crosses the line to 16, so today is a race where David Mason will come into tracking the progress of Danny Andrews up the order from 15 on lap 1. The leaders making their way around the old hairpin up towards McLean's for the second time. It's the orange car that's in front at the moment, so that means it's Ben Powley. There's one coming into the pit lane as well. That is the number 99 car, which is that of Martin Shelton. I think got the Driver of the Day award for the Ma7das at Silverstone. Had a good meeting there. I think it was his first time out. But we've got Josh.
Ben Powley all over the curves on the exit of Coppice. He got very sideways, but held on to it. And actually, it might have worked. He might have been able to pull a bit away from Liciter, but do you think the next 2 are catching them, Ian? Simon Court and Daniel Simmons look a bit closer?
I think they possibly are. The gap was, what, a second and a half between second and third at the end of lap 1. It may have come down slightly down, a little bit, maybe by a couple of tenths. And I think we might get 4 cars for the lead before much longer. They're heading out of the chicane now, up and over the line to complete lap number 2. It's Powley, number 37, leading, then 71, Jonathan Liciter in second place, then Simon Court, 55 in third. There's 1.2 seconds now between Liciter and Court. It's closed the gap by 3 seconds. Martin Shelton trying to rejoin from the pit lane just as the leaders are coming past. They get through in the end. It's Court third, Simmons fourth, then Daniel Court is in place on second. 7.3 information, then goes Barnes, 80 number 38, then Josh Platts, who's on the second row, and Martin Farley round out the top 10.
David Mason, he was second after 1 lap, that's in 7, so he's quick. He's as quick as Ben Powley, in fact, so David Mason's got good pace. He is, third in the championship, but leaders exit the old hairpin, and Liciter's back with Powley. Powley seems much quicker through Coppice. That line was taking really wide over the curve, actually seems to work. And that's what got him that advantage at the end of 2 laps, but it looks like Liciter's back with him, and he's dragging Simon Court and Daniel Sibbons with him. Simon Court, he started third, didn't he? Sibbons on pole, and then there's over 10-second gap to the rest, so it's 4 cars for the lead. They're heading through Coppice for the 3rd time.
Yeah, and it looks like a more conventional line that time from Powley, although the driver in 3rd, which I think is Court, Simon Court, did try and take a deeper line that time. I'm not sure it did him any good. I think the first 2 are getting away from the second 2, the 3rd and 4th place cars again, as they come into the chicane at the end of lap 3. Powley ahead of Liciter, gap back then to Simon Court and Daniel Sibbons. Liciter almost overlapping with Powley as they come across the line this time. And we'll have the, I was going to say, we'll have the inside line for Redgate Corner. It then switches to the left-hand side of the circuit, which is the outside, of course, and he is unable to make it through there. Though a gap to 5th, well that is David Mason. He's rather on his own. He's well clear of Daniel Corden's sector then. David Jones and David Clark back in their 7th.
Mason's only 300 off the fastest lap of the race. So he was down in 10th and he was 7th, and now he is in 5th position. So David Mason, very quick indeed. Down into the old path again. The line for the leaders there. Oh, and the 4 cars gone spinning, I think, into the gravel. So that would be Daniel Simmons, won't it? Yes, there's 3 cars come out the old hairpin. The top 2 much further ahead of Simon Cole. Daniel Simmons will get out the gravel and will still be 4th, but much further behind.
Yeah, absolutely. So the question was what he's about 10 seconds clear of David Mason.
I think he's still 4th.
Yeah, he's still 4th, but he's sort of closer now to Mason than he is to Simon Court, I think. Leaders are of the toughest once again. This is lap 4. We've had 6 minutes of this race so far. Lap's taken about 1:37 in these conditions, so we'll probably get 9 laps out of this, I would think, for a 15-minute race, maybe 10 if we just about squeeze it in.
We are 17 seconds off the qualifying pace, so it is very tricky out there, those lap times would suggest.
Often Donington is at its most difficult in these conditions, isn't it? And people talk about the airline fuel and all of that, getting dropped on the circuit and all of that, but it can get really slippery, really greasy in these conditions. End of lap 4 is still 37 Ben Powney leading from Jonathan Lister, number 71 in 2nd place. Powney is in the best lap of the race now, 1:35.8, so there is more time there. Lister also did a personal best. Then Simon Courtney, 55 is 3rd, Daniel Simmons, 56 is 4th, and David Mason is 5th, but only 2.4 seconds now between Simmons and Mason.
Yeah, with Mason's pace, that could be another safety gate before the end of the race then. Race leaders heading down the training curve, so Nicholas almost alongside. Powney coming down into the old hairpin, can't quite make it though, but then cuts back on the exit of the old hairpin. Is that going to work for him on the long drag up the hill? No, I don't think it is. Powney stays ahead of him. Lister, who had a problem in the second race at Silverstone, he had a floor issue there, so he's a bit further down the championship than he would like. There's a car for Coppeth in the gravel, and the car doesn't come through. It's Thomas Bates, 69.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Thomas Bates there that's off, unfortunately. So that means that Martin Shelton is quality to pass again. It's not far off the edge of the circuit there, but Marshall's in attendance, so there's double waved yellows to deal with that. We've had just over half of the 15 minutes now, coming into 8 minutes on the clock. 2 leaders down towards the chicane to complete lap number 5, and it's still the orange car of Ben Powney that's ahead of Jonathan Lister. As they reappear into our sight from behind the grandstand, there is 2 car lengths between them, perhaps 1.5 maybe. Lister certainly in the tow, pulls to the left-hand side of the circuit as they head into Redgate Corner. Powney will make him drive around the outside if he can. He can't. Will he switch back at Redgate Corner on the exit? He thought about it, I think, but in the end he didn't. So now sitting right on the rear of Powney's car as they head down towards the old hairpin for the 6th time.
Yeah, very even these two in these conditions, aren't they? Very close. Two of them are. They've pulled away Simon Court dramatically now. I'm not sure if Court had an issue on the last lap. David Mason has just equalled Ben Powney's fastest lap. They're both on the 35.8. So how close is he to Simmons now? Well, he's 7 tenths behind, so that might be a place that changes in the next lap or so. Daniel Court is 6th, 7th is James Lewis Barnes, 8th is David Jones, 9th Martin Barry, and 10th is John Platt, who went so much qualifying. And the Platt has gone in a bit in these conditions, it would seem.
Yeah, so still we have the car being recovered at Coppeth. The snatch vehicle is now on the scene as well to try and deal with that, just as the 2 leaders go past it. And you can see from the sort of body language on the track, there's not an awful lot of good there. Different lines being taken by Powney and Lister, who are a long way clear of everybody else now, as they go through Coppeth Corner down the exit straight towards the chicane right and left onto the Wheatcroft straight again, and it is still